Hello everyone, it's Kushal Jaiswal, an assistant professor from MIT Aurangabad. Today I am going to discuss about the topic from engineering mechanics, that is force system. So before moving to the force system, let's know what is the force. So force may be defined as an action that tend to change the state of rest or motion of a body to which it is applied. If we consider a body that is in a state of rest, and if the force is applied, then this action of force will tend to take that body in a motion. While if we consider the another body that is in a motion, and if the force is applied to the body that is in motion, then this force will try to retard the motion of the body. So these are the two types of action that are caused by the force. So if we consider this body, the overall body, and if we consider this a steel ball that is hanged with the help of rope at this point. So if this ball is subjected to a force, horizontal force at this point in this direction, so this after the application of force, this body will tend to move in such manner. It will continuously move and for some time, and while it is in motion, if the another force that strikes this body, then it will try to retard its motion and will try to slow down its motion, so that it will, from this type of motion, after the action of force, this will come down to the slower one. So these are the effects that are caused by the application of force to a body that is in rest or body in a motion. While looking in the different angle to this figure, if we consider that this steel ball is hanged with this rope, then the weight of this steel ball is causing this ball to move in the downward direction, likewise represented in this diagram. While the force that is causing to move the body in the upward diagram, that is provided, that the upward force that is provided by this rope can be represented here and can be seen here by this representation. So if the free body diagram of this system can be represented here. Now let's move to our original topic, that is the force system. Then one will think that what is force system? Then let me tell you that when the number of forces act on a body, then it forms a force system. Means if a body is subjected to a force which is more than one, then the body is generally subjected to the force system. The force system is a term that is generally used to describe a group of forces. If we consider a figure that of aeroplane that is flying in the air, so we can see that there are number of forces acting on this body. That first one is lifting it, and second one, that is weight of the body that tend to take it downward side, while that is thrust that is keeping it moving ahead, while the drag that is the force that is acting in the backward direction of this aeroplane. So this figure represents the various forces acting on a single body. Then it can be called as a force system. While the force system are classified into various types, they are broadly classified into two types. That is, first one is a coplanar force system, and second one is a non-coplanar force system. Where the coplanar force system is further classified into three types. That first one is concurrent force system. Second one is a collinear force system. Third one is a parallel force system. While the parallel force system can be classified into like or unlike parallel forces. So let's know what is the coplanar force system. Coplanar force system have all the forces acting in a one plane. Means all the forces that are acting on a body should be in the same plane. Means if we consider this overall body, and this body is subjected to some weight that is applied on this body, so this weight will be transferred to the ground through its connected member that are connected with the ground. So if you consider the load W is being transferred through the F1, F2, F3 and F4. So all the forces have the same direction, while they, if we consider this axis as a x direction while this axis as a y direction, then all these forces are along the same plane, means all the forces are in the same plane, thus they becomes a coplanar force system. While the coplanar force system is further classified into three types, that is concurrent force system, parallel force system, non-concurrent force system and non-parallel force system. Now let's look at a concurrent force system. A concurrent force system is a system in which all the forces passes through a common point, means the line of action of all the forces must meet at a certain point. Here we can see that it is a body where the three forces are acting, and the line of action of these three forces meets at a same point, that is at O. Thus this type of forces become the concurrent force system. Likewise, if we see a crane is holding let's consider a steel bar up to 2000 newtons with the help of rope. So the force that is developed in this portion of rope, that is T1, the force that is developed in this portion of rope, that is T1, and the force that is developed in this portion of rope, that is T3. So all these forces are passing through the same line at a single line of action. From the line of action of these forces passes through a single point. So this type of forces will become the concurrent force system. While the second one is a non-concurrent force system. In a non-concurrent force system, all forces does not pass through a single point. Means here we can see that the number of forces acting on a body, that F1, this line represents the line of action of F1 force, while the F1 force, this line represents the line of action of F4 force. Similarly, F3 and F2 are represented here. If we consider an example of a driving wheel, or we can say a steering wheel, so here we see that when we drive a car, we generally hold the car steering in such manner. If we try to move the vehicle to the right side, then we will turn the vehicle in the clockwise direction. So ultimately our left hand will come on the top position, while the right hand will move towards the downward position. So these two forces are acting in the another direction, while their line of action does not pass through a single point. So such a forces can be called as the non-concurrent force system. While the third one, that is collinear force system. So if it is several forces which lie along the same line of action, they are said to be collinear forces. Means if we consider these two groups of boys, pulling a single rope in the opposite direction, while the line of action of these forces are different. So this line of action of these forces can be represented by this figure. Here we can see this group of boys pulling the rope in this direction. It is represented here, while this group of boys pulling this rope in this direction. So here we can see that the force, these are the two forces that are acting along the same line of action. That's why this type of force become the collinear force system. While the last one is the parallel force system, that is when the forces that are acting on a body lie in the same plane and that they are parallel to each other. For example, here we can see that the number of various forces are acting on the body and they have the same direction, means they are parallel to each other, exactly parallel to each other. Here we can see F1, F2, F3, F4 and R. All these forces are parallel to each other. although they may be in the opposite direction. Somewhere F3 and F3 is opposite to all the other forces that are acting on the plane. So the parallel force system is also classified into two types, that is like parallel forces or unlike parallel forces. When the direction of parallel forces is in the same direction, when the parallel forces are in the same direction, then it is known as the parallel like parallel forces. If the forces are if the parallel forces are in opposite direction, then they are called as unlike parallel forces. So here we complete with the force system. Thank you for watching.